What's going on, everyone? It's Tetrosphere, and we had another 3v3 case tournament over at GalaxyBusterTCG, and I do have 4 rounds of gameplay. It was supposed to be 6, but for whatever reason, round 1 did not record, so I'm sorry. I believe it was Jay, and I forget who your opponent was. I don't have that footage. And another round of Swiss, there's just no gameplay. So I don't know if there was like an intentional draw or if the players just sat somewhere else or if something happened. But regardless, we're going to go ahead and jump on into this one. And looks like we have Chris versus, I think that's, guys, your name, Alan? On the left there with Chris on the right. And let's go ahead and jump on in. Looks like Chris is taking first and is starting off with the hand effect of Fiendsmith Engraver. We do see that Joel and Lockbird in the hand of Allen, and of course that comes right down on resolution. No need to hold that. Oh, that might result in a set 1 and pass from Chris here. Is that what we're looking at? That Joel put him in a tight spot, it would seem. Not. I mean, typically you expect Joel to slow down the Fiendsmith Ryzeal, but not a. Let's see. Obviously, we know tracked in hand, but otherwise I did not get a good look at Chris's hand. So obviously, not much that can do anything without search. So now we're going to start off with an engraver of our own, so it does look like we are in a mirror situation here. And that tracked we met with a Joel and Lockbird. Truly the mirror. The question now is, does Alan have a way to play without searching to hand once again? Even something like a normal summon of ice, of course we can assume that set card is an imperm. Oh, but we have talent. Talent to look. Okay, so, double tracked and the node. So that explains why we couldn't play. Chris, if you're watching, I'm curious, do you feel like starting with tracked might have been a bit better here? Maybe that wouldn't have played into Joel as hard, or do you feel like opening when you open both tracked and engraver, is engraver still like the correct play? All right, so we're putting back the node. Just going to deal with the double tracked. We have ice. This is either an attack or attempting its effect. Surely the effect. Oh, Metaltronus. Okay. If you are banishing it, that is a face down banish, by the way. Yeah, there you go. And it looks like we're just going to pass over on that. So, arguably better than Imperm, however, also arguably worse. You are now a bit less likely to draw a Ryzeal name, and it looks like you drew Molcharmy. So yeah, you just pass right on that. Not even going to try to activate track. Oh, that was not a pass. I don't know what that hand gesture was, but it looks like we're opening with tracked. So we are still going to have access to the Fiendsmith side of our engine through Lurie attempting to summon itself from grave, which it looks like resolves. And on summon, we're going to attempt Fualos. Seems like we forgot to put our extra deck on the mat, but no worries, that has been rectified. We're going to go ahead and get in a draw off the Requiem. And now we're going to poke with Requiem. This is not a terrible call because Requiem is a quick effect in either main phase. So you don't have to play into Molcharmy further here. You can just summon Lacrima off it on your opponent's turn, and then Lacrima can still dump Paradise. And because you already have 2 Light Fiends in grave, you still get the Desiree interaction. And once you tribute Requiem, you can you don't control any cards, so you can activate your own Mulcharmy. Which I think is the play here. I think you chain Requiem to this and then chain Thualos. Or perhaps you do it on Resolution. That could be fine too. Alright, so yeah, on Resolution here, we're going to attempt Requiem and then chain our own Mulcharmy. It's very interesting. Both players seem to have opened very similar hands and play patterns. Alright, so we are going to summon Lacrima, and Lacrima is going to Foolish Fiendsmith in Paradise. So the question here is, do you play into this Mulcharmy at all? Do you do the same thing? Do you get your own Requiem going, give him one draw? Do you have a way to extend from the hand that doesn't play into Thualos as hard? I do see an Imperm there you can set. Alright, it looks like we're going to either normal or special Sword Ryzeal. Probably normal. Considering I'm sure we don't want to lock ourselves out of the Fiendsmith lines if we think we can kill. We've added Ice off a Sword. Alright, now we're going to shuffle back Lacrima to summon... Or... Did we pass? How did we just get Engraver? We must have passed, right? I must have missed that. I didn't see Chris draw for turn. I wonder why we summoned... I guess we summoned Sword just to get the follow-up of Ice. And then I don't think Sword can run over Lacrima, so that makes sense then that we passed. If he plays it, Chaos Angel is an option here, but surely that face down is something like an Imperm, so... Alright, so Requiem is going to equip to Engraver, and then we're going to Contact Fuse for Necroquip. Now we have the ability to make a light-dark Chaos Angel. Which, once again, unfortunately, is going to be met with this Imperm. Not the end of the world. We haven't really committed much. We haven't used our normal summon. We did use our Engraver effect to revive itself. But that's fine. We have a Sword of our own, which can grab Ext. And there is the other Tract. Which gets us back into the Lurie that Engraver shuffled back, and now Lurie plus Sword is going to make Sequence. Sequence is going to attempt to fuse. Hopefully Alan has something pretty good in hand. Otherwise, this is looking like a full scoop situation, because I don't think we're going to have any trouble putting up game. Especially because after we finish with this summoning the Fiends from the extra deck, we have that Ext. Desiree can go ahead and put back the Sequence to send Sword to grave. Agnum Day can beat over the... If you want to do it this way, Agnum Day can beat over the Lurie. and then everything else can attack directly, and then Agnum Day can cycle into the Desiree. With the Chaos Angels definitely gonna do the trick here, because that's 18 from the Agnum Day. Yeah. Chaos Angels 35. Agnum Day plus Desiree is 28 plus 18 makes, what is that, 46? Yeah. So yeah, Agnum Day into Desiree plus Chaos Angel alone. Not to mention the damage Agnum Day itself did with its own attack. Kind of an awkward start for both players. Both players opened very similar hands and were able to just kind of have the answer for each other's plays. Ultimately, though, Chris was able to find lethal and pull ahead there in game one. Alan will now have the right to choose whether to go first or second. I have heard of some players in the pure Ryzeal in the mirror making the opponent go first and playing more of a board breaker power spell approach. I don't know if Fiendsmith has a similar game plan. I think based on... I do believe I saw Alan take out Molcharmi Fualo, so I don't think he's planning on going second. I do believe he is intending to go first here. Chris just making sure his side deck is accurate at 15 cards. Getting ready to shuffle up. Reset the life points for us. Thank you, sir. I do always appreciate it when the players have their life points on display for the stream. Makes it really easy for me to understand when an attack has been declared, or when any damage. Obviously, just anything involving life points. It helps me know, like, has the battle phase happened? I do believe I just noted. Oh, that was him cutting Chris's deck. Okay, so Chris has the Molcharmies in, so he's expecting to go second. And it looks like we opened 2 or 3 hand traps on Chris's side. I believe I saw an Ash and an Imperm and maybe something else. Alan checking with his teammate on how he should get started. I do not have a sight line on his hand. And it looks like we're going to start with the normal summon a sword and attempt its effect to search. It will add a light Ryzeal, which could be ice. That's going to be met with an Imperm, however, and then comes down the tract, which is immediately met with an Ash. And we pass. So we've got a sword on the field, 3 cards in hand, and we're going to start off once again with Engraver to add. This is going to add tract, which once again is going to be met with Joel and Lockbird. Oh, but we have talent to look. And I saw a thrust there. We have our own Lurie. Once again, both players opening fairly similar, with both having Ash and Lurie in the opening hand. Normal summon of Lurie. Requiem specials from deck. I'm wondering if we have something that we can thrust search for that will help us put up lethal, because I don't think this can do it on its own. I don't think even into an empty board, Lurie can OTK with like the Agnum Day into Desiree play. I think you are going to need at least something else. And I didn't see an access to the Ryzeal engine in Chris's hand, so he is going to, if he's going to do that, he's going to need to thrust for something that'll get him there. That might be what he's calculating right now. Okay, so he's going to go Requiem into Engraver. Or Requiem equipped to Engraver, rather. And now you could Requiem send, or Engraver send the sword. Looks like we're just going to attack. So I think he's kind of seen, and so I'm guessing he doesn't have a way to thrust for game here. I think he just wants to get the body off the board. He knows he's just going to be dealing with a Lurie in a top deck. So he'd rather just get that sword out of the equation and set up a way to control the game state. We're going to go into a Caesar. Okay. And now we can thrust for some kind of trap, some kind of floodgate, or a way to play next turn, grab some follow-up with. It's not terrible. Could just set an imperm even. Yeah. So you're dealing with an imperm and 2 Caesar negates on the side of Alan, and what you have is a Lurie and a top deck. Exactly Ultimate Slayer, I think, can crack this board, but I don't know that you have a top deck alongside the Lurie that can like win you the game here. I think I'm trying to think what else there could possibly be. Oh, I mean, I guess like a book would do it, something to get rid of something to make the Caesar irrelevant. Talent could be okay. What would you do if you would? Do you draw 2 or do you take? You could take the Caesar and make Typhon, right? That's an option if you had talents. Metaltronus. Yeah, you cannot respond with the targeted monster. So Metaltronus target Caesar will do the trick. That's decent. So now we just have to deal with the imperm. I don't remember what the card in hand was on Chris's end. And I would think this is a situation where you don't banish face down. I think you just take the extender. And it looks like he's deciding whether he wants to do Desiree or his own sequence. It looks like he's going to go Desiree, which kind of makes sense because even though its effects are negated on the field, you can still do the graveyard effect to send. So this is decent. So now we've summoned Lacrima. This might get impermed. Now he's going to let it go. Gonna dump an Engraver. Okay, so it will get impermed. Okay. So we have the option of making a sequence or any other link to, really. It could be like an SP play, get rid of that Caesar. Oh, actually you wouldn't even need the SP because Caesar or like I said, Desiree can already send it. So any link to that gets Desiree off the field here is going to take care of the Caesar. What you want to just do here is establish as much like whatever you can do with these 2 bodies. You need it to be something that can. Oh, your own Necroquip. And then you can make your Light Dark Chaos Angel. This is crazy. I like this a lot. So now Desiree can shuffle back whatever. Call it Requiem, call it Lurie, call it Engraver. I'm not really sure what would. Or Engraver never hit the grave because Lacrima got imperm. That's right. I think you probably send back Lurie here. I think you probably are cool with the Lacrima into Requiem play. You're going to go ahead and send the Desiree, or the Caesar, and now you can make your own Light Dark Chaos Angel with the Lacrima and the Necro Quip. And you're going to deal 3,500 damage. And you're up. The thing is, like, what's your interaction point here? You have Lacrima, summon Requiem, summon Lacrima, Foolish, Fiendsmith, and Paradise. But as we're seeing right now, Chris has that same exact play. I think he just did that backwards. Doesn't Lacrima shuffle itself back to summon Requiem? Am I tripping? It's interesting though because that Chaos Angel is light dark, so like you really like Engraver's not going to be able to send it. An opposing Chaos Angel can't banish it. Desiree can't negate it or beat over it. I mean, it can deal damage over it, but it won't destroy it. You need some kind of like power spell out. You need like a book. You need, an imperm and then wait a turn. Well, I didn't even catch what it was. It looks like there was a Call by the Grave in hand plus some other spell. Metaltronus. Looks like on Alan's end here we are attempting the effect of Lacrima. Seems like maybe we have a response here. Oh, okay, it's Harpies. Is it called by in Harpies? Is that what his hand is? Neither are great here. Okay, so I don't think he was actually activating that effect. I think he was just showing what he had in his grave. Chris might have asked, like, what's live in your graveyard right now or something like that. Yeah, on Chris's end, we'll see what he ends up doing. But, like, given what you have in hand and the fact that thing is just, like, unaffected by monster effects, so, like, nothing you can pull out of your extra deck is going to get you out of this. I think you just want to establish something that the Chaos Angel itself can't out. So if you can make a Desiree equipped with Agnum Day that's big enough. Oh, it's tracked in Harpies. Okay. If you can make a Desiree that's big enough that the Chaos Angel can't run it over, you probably at least buy yourself another turn. And try to get into like a situation where you have an out. Alright, so we're good with the Summon of Lurie. We're going to go into Sequence. We're going to attempt the effect of Sequence. Yeah, it looks like we're making Lurie, Engraver, and Closed Heaven into Desiree. Yeah, so I feel like that's the play here, is you just make a Desiree that's big enough that it can't be ran over by the Chaos Angel. And the thing is, the Desiree can try to negate whatever other play that Alan top decks into. And the Desiree protected by sequence. So like, if I feel like you need to do, I wonder why you didn't. Did you side out Paradise, Alan? Because I feel like you would have needed to do that before all this. Because like, if you did that before the Desiree got equipped with the sequence, then you're in pretty good shape. But now it can't be targeted, so Desiree Graveyard Effect can't send it. Or, oh no. Our Desiree is already in the grave, isn't it? That never got shuffled back. Because Engraver shuffled back. Whatever the hell it shuffled back, I don't know. Okay, and that thing is gaining 3,600 attack. So it's 36 plus 28, which I believe makes 64. 64 over 35 is... What is that? Is that 2,900 damage? Or is it 19? Whatever. Massive damage either way. Alright, so now we're going to Lacrima Summon Requiem. That Desiree is going to be tough to outman. It can negate a card on the field, and it cannot be targeted, and it's big. All right, so what have we drawn into? As far as potential outs goes, excuse me, like, I'm thinking it's like exactly Forbidden Droplet, send a monster, whether it's Requiem or you could attempt Requiem's effect to summon, and then send whatever you summon, so that way you have Requiem engrave for the engraver to revive itself. Because the thing is, like, you need something that does not target and can either negate the Desiree or get its attack low enough that you can run it over. Which the Droplet would accomplish, I believe, because I think it would be at 3,200 after Droplet. And if you send a monster, Desiree itself can't respond. Metaltronus targets, Ultimate Slayer targets. Book of Eclipse doesn't target, but Desiree can negate it. Chaos Angel targets, well, if you had a second one, which obviously you wouldn't, but like in theory, if you had a second Chaos Angel that targets, SP targets. What else is there? Your own Desiree doesn't target, but Chris's Desiree can negate it. So you almost need a way to like force the Desiree and then chain your own Desiree. Really wish I knew what that card in hand was. I'm sure Chris was thinking the same thing. Because the thing is, I feel like we kind of need to out this Desiree this turn, because if we don't, I believe it can run us over for game next turn. Normal summon effect Veiler. What do we have? What can we make of this? I don't know what you have from the extra deck that could do it, because I mean, there's Typhon, but Typhon, you'd have to use the Chaos Angel, which is, if you even play it. I guess you could like, well, and the other thing too is before all this, you need to get Sequence in the grave. So, okay, so that obviously accomplishes that. So Sequence can attach to Desiree. You could make Typhon over the Chaos Angel, threaten the Typhon bounce. Chris then has to chain Desiree. You chain your own Desiree. And I think that threatens game if you do it like that. But it looks like we're going for a length. Okay, Agnum Day. Ooh, Desiree can also send the Agnum Day, which is making Desiree. Okay, that's a way around it too. Or Sequence, so you can't target it? That's what you're going to get rid of? Makes it a little bit smaller, but I think it's still bigger than the Chaos Angel now. Although it won't be bigger than your own Desiree with Agnum Day in Sequence. So I think this was a good path too. I think this also works. Because now Agnum Day can summon Desiree from grave and equip it to it, and then Sequence can equip. And then your Desiree will be exactly 600 higher than that Desiree. Or no, it won't, because Requiem's also giving it 6. So Requiem's giving it 600 as well. That's right. I forgot about that. So it's not just the link arrows. Requiem also inherently does this. Is that still enough for Chaos Angel to be bigger? I don't think that's right. Yeah, there's no way Chaos Angel is now bigger than that Desiree. You need... I think that what you needed to do was either the Typhon thing or Agnum Day into your own Desiree, equip your own Sequence, equip your own Requiem, then you're 600 points higher than that Desiree. You run it over, get everything into the grave. Chaos Angel can't be sent. What have we done here? What's happening? Did we just pass it back and Chris reattach Sequence? Surely this is game then. Yeah. Unless I'm missing something, I think Mans had it. I think he could have done it. Because, like I said, even when you threaten the Desiree, it can't send the Chaos Angel. So you still have your win condition, or at least your stall condition, so to speak. Are we just making sure that life is what it's supposed to be here? I mean, he showed his hand, so surely that means we've scooped, right? But now it looks like we're still playing. Yeah, we're still playing. Okay, so we just showed our hand for funsies, which I suppose is also fine. If I can be completely frank, I am not 100% sure what's going on right now. Agnum Day somehow made it to the grave, so I think we might have rewound game state for Agnum Day to be what was sent off of Alan's Desiree effect as opposed to the sequence. I'm guessing that we conceded the match because, like I said, Chris showed his hand, so I can't imagine we would have done that before. But I'm guessing that right now what they're doing is they're going through how Alan could have outed this. Yeah, and so now the thing is you're bigger than that Desiree if you do that. You can run it over. Desiree's going to send your Desiree, but you've kind of already done the job. You can now swing with Chaos Angel. I don't know whose life points is whose on that phone there, but that likely would have, if that wasn't it, then yeah, I mean. Yeah, I think they're just going over different scenarios here in that Chris scooped, or Alan scooped. Yeah, that's definitely what happened here, so. Yeah, that looks like it's about the end of it. Yeah. Yep, that was all she wrote. Okay, so GG's. Yeah, I think you had a way out of there, but like obviously, as me as a commentator, is really easy to say. Just like looking at it, when you're in the heat of the moment, it's a lot harder to make those decisions, and also possibly you don't play Typhon, so there's that. But yeah, I mean, it was good games either way. Definitely looking forward to doing the rest of the commentary. Thank you guys for checking out the video, and I will see you on the next one.